Have you ever felt completely overlooked? Like you're stuck in a monotonous routine, convinced your best days are behind you? Maybe you're doing a job you never envisioned, far from the grand dreams you once had. And then, out of nowhere, an unexpected opportunity, a nudge, a feeling that something more is meant for you. But immediately, the protests flood your mind. Who? Me? I'm not qualified. I'm too old. I've made too many mistakes. Today on Sketch the Word, we're journeying to a dusty, unremarkable mountain where an ordinary man had an extraordinary encounter. This is Moses versus the burning bush, and it's the ultimate battle between two powerful forces, purpose versus protest. On one side, you have God's undeniable call to destiny. On the other, you have Moses' human fear, inadequacy, and a litany of excuses. This is a battle for your calling, your sense of purpose, and whether you'll answer when God speaks your name. Let's dive into the story and see how this battle of purpose and protest plays out. Before we get to that burning bush, we need to understand Moses' journey. Born a Hebrew slave under the brutal thumb of Pharaoh, he was miraculously drawn out of the Nile by Pharaoh's own daughter. He grew up as a prince in the most powerful empire in the world, educated in all the wisdom of Egypt. He had privilege, power, and a promising future. But deep down, Moses knew he was different. One day, seeing an Egyptian taskmaster cruelly beating a Hebrew slave, Moses, in a flash of righteous anger, intervened. He killed the Egyptian, and suddenly the prince became a fugitive. He fled far from the palace into the vast, lonely wilderness of Midian. For 40 long years, Moses lived a quiet, humble life as a shepherd, tending sheep. Imagine that, a man trained to rule, now leading animals through dusty plains. He was 80 years old. He likely thought his chance at destiny had passed. The fire of his early calling seemed to have burned out, replaced by the quiet monotony of desert life. But God, in his infinite wisdom, was preparing him. Those 40 years in the wilderness stripped away Egyptian pride, taught him humility, patience, and dependence. God was shaping the heart of a shepherd, the very heart needed to lead his vast, often rebellious people out of bondage. Destiny delayed is not destiny denied. The wilderness wasn't a punishment, it was a profound academy, transforming a prince with an impulsive temper into a humble, patient leader. God uses every season, even the seemingly barren ones, for his ultimate purpose. The burning bush, purpose ignites, protest begins. And so, one ordinary morning, Moses leads his flock deeper into the remote wilderness, to Mount Horeb. It's just another day of grazing until he sees it. A bush ablaze with fire, yet miraculously, impossibly not consumed. It was a common, thorny acacia bush, not a majestic tree. This detail is crucial. God often chooses the humble and ordinary to reveal his extraordinary power. What captivated Moses wasn't just the fire, but the paradox. It burned intensely, yet nothing was destroyed. It defied all logic. Moses' reaction is exactly what God intended. He turned aside to investigate this great sight. And when God saw that Moses turned aside, only then did he call. This teaches us a fundamental truth. God often waits for our attentive curiosity, for our willingness to pause from the ordinary and lean into the extraordinary. Then a voice echoed across the desert air, "Moses, Moses," calling his name twice, signifying deep affection and a personal address. Moses, with a humble but ready heart, replied, "Here I am." Then came the divine command, establishing the sacred boundary. "Do not come near. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground." This wasn't a grand temple, it was a dusty patch of desert soil. What made it holy was the manifest living presence of God. Where God is present, the ordinary becomes sacred. God then revealed his deep empathy for his suffering people. "I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry. I know their sufferings." And because he sees, hears, and knows, God acts. He declared his plan to deliver them and bring them to a land flowing with milk and honey. And then the bombshell. "Come, I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt." Moses was stunned. The weight of this mission, the audacity of the call crashed down upon him, and here begins the battle of purpose versus protest. Moses' immediate visceral reaction was a humble protest born of years of self-reflection and perhaps lingering insecurity. Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? This wasn't false humility, it was a genuine question rooted in his awareness of his own human frailty against the colossal might of the Egyptian empire. God met this protest not with impatience, but with patient, firm reassurance. When Moses asked God's name to share with the Israelites, God answered with a name that reverberates across eternity. I am who I am. Tell them I am has sent me to you. This name speaks of God's self-existence, his timelessness, his unchanging nature, his dynamic presence. He is utterly independent, always present in every moment, every crisis, every hidden corner of our lives. Despite this awe-inspiring revelation, Moses continued to protest, offering a litany of objections. What if they don't believe me? Exodus 4:1. God gave him miraculous signs, a staff turning into a snake, his hand becoming leprous and then healed. I am slow of speech and of tongue, Exodus 4:10. His biggest insecurity, but God responded with a question that cut to the heart of sovereignty. Who has made man's mouth? Who makes him mute or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Please, Lord, send someone else. Exodus 4:13, the ultimate surrender to doubt and fear. But God's response to Moses' protest wasn't to take the call back. It was always a fresh revelation of his sufficiency. Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth and teach you what you shall speak. Exodus 4:12. God doesn't promise ease. He promises his very presence and his empowering guidance. I will be with you. That is the essence of the call, not our inherent strength, but his divine indwelling strength.
This story is not just about Moses, it's about you. No matter your age, your history, your perceived limitations, or how buried you feel in the mundane, you have a calling. There's something unique that only you can do in this world, a purpose divinely woven into your being. Like Moses, God's call may come softly, unexpectedly, often in the quiet moments of life. It may burn quietly within your spirit like a bush in the wilderness, not a consuming fire, but a gentle, persistent flame of purpose. When God calls, our human nature often responds with protest. We offer excuses. Who am I? I'm not good enough. I'm too old. I'm too busy. I've failed before. But God's purpose for you endures. Your past does not disqualify you. Your age does not limit you. Nothing in your life is wasted. Every season, every experience, every perceived failure, all are meticulously folded into God's sovereign plan, transformed by grace into preparation for destiny. The battle of purpose versus protest is won when you lay down your excuses and lean into God's unwavering promise. I am will be with you. He doesn't ask for your ability, he asks for your availability. He equips you by his presence, empowers you by his spirit, and speaks through your limitations. Take off your spiritual sandals today, release the burdens and distractions, and know you are standing on holy ground. For wherever you are, God's presence can transform it into a sacred space. His calling is not about what you do, but about who he is, the great I am, ever present, ever sufficient. This is not the end of your story. It may be only the beginning of a new chapter, a divine adventure you never anticipated. For even in the desert, even in the mundane, even in the quiet of your own life, the bush still burns with the fire of God's presence, beckoning you closer, calling your name. If this story has ignited a spark within you, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments what protest has held you back from a purpose you feel God calling you to.